Have you ever guys wondered how do these scientists know that the rocket they launch, where will they eventually land up? What would be the maximum height they achieve? How do these scientists predict the very future of the motion of these rockets? Well, the answer lies in the chapter you're gonna cover today. So yes, hello everyone, my name is Ankita Ma'am and welcome to the one-shot session of the chapter Quadratic Equation. Believe me guys, this chapter should be a basic knowledge because this chapter makes the foundation of so many concepts that we'll be learning in future. So make sure that you master this chapter today alongside me. And to get notes, to get practice sheet, make sure that you go to the link in the description box below. That will take you to PW's app. There you have to enroll yourself in PW's free batch and you'll get everything guys. And yes, remember guys, learning matters only when it is done the right way. And the right way is physics Wallah. Because here guys, we don't ask you to mug up formulas, we build concepts, right? And whether you're a topper or you are just a beginner, you will learn with confidence here alongside all the great faculties that we have here. So yes, welcome to Physics Wallah everyone, and let's get started with the one-shot session. Okay, so first thing first guys, this chapter is closely linked to the chapter Polynomials. So make sure that you know the concepts of polynomials, specifically the concept of relationship between the coefficients and the zeros of a polynomial, because all of that will be useful in this chapter. And if you are not clear about the chapter polynomials and you need to re-revise it, no worries guys, we have a one shot for that also. So you just have to go to the channel and search for that video. You'll get a one shot on that. Okay, so yes, now this quadratic equation chapter comes under algebra, and I've told it before also that the total weightage of algebra in your board exams is 20 marks, right? Now from this chapter guys, in the previous year you got a 5-marker question, right? So yes, the it's the probability is very high that you will get a 5-marker question from this chapter. You might even get a case study question, right? Because in 2024 case study questions did come from this chapter, and obviously from the topic nature of roots, you will for sure get either a 1-marker question or even a 2 or 3-marker question, right? So nature of roots, very important topic. Now other than that, obviously roots of equation is an important topic because here you will be learning how to find the roots of the quadratic equation and the different methods that you have for it, right? Okay, and obviously first of all we'll start by introducing ourselves to what is a quadratic equation. So yes guys, what is a quadratic equation? What does the word quadratic mean? Quadratic means degree 2. It means what? It means degree 2. Degree means highest power of the variable, right? So highest power of the variable should be 2 in the equation. And by equation we mean that there should be an equal to sign, right? So let's write some things down. For example, if I write 4x square is equals to 1. Now here, this is an equation. Cool. What is the highest power of the variable? 2, right? So is this a quadratic equation? Yes, it is. It is a quadratic equation, guys, right? Okay, let me write some more. Let's suppose I have minus x square minus 2x is equals to 0. Now again, it is an equation. Obviously, here what is the highest power of the variable? You can see that the highest power is 2, right? So yes, again, degree is 2. It's an equation. It's a quadratic equation, guys. Okay, let me write something else. Let's suppose I have 6x square minus 2x plus 1 is equals to 0. Now, is this a quadratic equation, everyone? Yes, it is. Because again, degree is 2. It is an equation. It's a quadratic equation, right? So, how will you check whether the given equation is quadratic or not? You will have to see whether the highest power of the variable is 2 or not. But there is a big but. See everyone, whenever you are checking whether the given equation is quadratic or not, make sure that you first write it in standard form. What do you mean by standard form, guys? Standard form matlab the form like this, ax square plus bx plus c, where a, b, c are all real numbers because we are dealing with the world of real numbers, and a is not equals to 0. Why are we specifically saying that a is not equals to 0, guys? Because as soon as a becomes 0, this ax square will become 0 and the equation will become bx plus c is equals to 0, which is a linear equation, not a quadratic equation, because the highest power of the variable is 1, right? So that's why the leading coefficient, that means the coefficient of x square, should not be equals to 0 in a quadratic equation. Okay? So this is the standard form, ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. So whenever you have to check whether any equation is, quadratic or not, make sure to first simplify it. Simplify matlab bacha, that whether if there are like terms in it, you will evaluate all the like terms together and you will write the entire thing in this form. So let's see. For example, here 6x square minus 2x plus 1. You can see that this is already in standard form, right? Here, what is the value of a? The value of a is 6, everyone. What's the value of b? B is the coefficient of x. The coefficient of x is not 2, it is negative 2. Please don't eat your negative sign, right? So b is negative 2, and finally c is equals to 1. Right? Okay. So you can see the values of a, b and c here. Now, minus x square minus 2x goes to 0. Is this in standard form, guys? Yes, it is. I know that you cannot see the constant here, but no worries. See, let's see what are the values of a, b and c, and then you will understand in a much clearer way. For example, here a is the coefficient of x square. Now the coefficient of x square is negative of 1, right? You can see negative sign here, so negative of 1. What is the value of b, everyone? So b is the coefficient of x. So coefficient of x here is what? Minus of 2, right? So minus 2. Now can you see any constant here? No, right? So if there is no constant that you can see, that means constant is 0, right? So that means the value of c here is what? 0. Okay? Acha, the first equation that I wrote, everyone, is that in standard form? No, right? Why? Because you can see that on the right hand side you have 1. In standard form, everything is on the left hand side or one side. Everything should be on one side and 0 should be on another side, right? So to write it in standard form, what will you do? You will simply bring 1 here. So 4x square minus 1 is equals to 0. Now this is a standard form. Everything is on the left hand side. No like terms are there. Okay? Now let's write the value of a, b and c for this one. So here clearly the value of a is the coefficient of x square, which is 4, everyone. The value of b should be the coefficient of x. There is no x here. There is no x here. No worries, no worries. We'll use our common sense. What we'll do? We'll use our common sense, everyone. What we will be doing is, in place of x, I can write 0 into x. Can I not do that? 0 into x is 0 only. Okay? So, and then here minus 1 is equals to 0. Yeah. So now I have written this here in a form that you can understand, right? So now what is the coefficient of x? 0. What's the value of b, everyone? 0. What's the value of c, everyone? Negative of 1. Got it? So if you don't see the coefficient of x or you don't see the term with x, no worries, that means the coefficient of x is 0. If you don't see the constant term, that means c is 0. It's as simple as that. Okay, so now let's see this question. This question came in 2023 board exams, right? So the very first topic, that is quadratic equations, introduction, what is the standard form, is an important topic, guys, because you do get questions directly from there. Okay, so let's see this and please pay attention because you are going to learn a lot from this very question. Okay, so you have to tell which of the following is not a quadratic equation. So how are you going to do it? So first thing first, guys, please don't just see the equation and be like, oh, I can see that here, the highest power of the variable is 2. Okay, so that's it. The highest power of the variable is 2, bas baat khatam. No, it does not work like that. Okay, you will have to first simplify the entire thing. Okay, so remember, what is the important thing here? Simplify. Simplify. Okay, for example, let's simplify the first equation here. So we have 2x minus 1 whole square is equals to 4x square minus 2x plus 1, right? So even though we can see that the highest power looks like to be 2, but we'll first simplify and check whether that is true or not, right? So first of all, I'll open this bracket here using identity a minus b whole square, guys. A square plus b square minus 2ab, right? So we'll get what? 2x square plus 1 minus 2x, right? That, and this is equals to what? This is equals to 4x square minus 2x plus 1. So now let's open the bracket. We'll get 2x square plus 2 minus 4x is equals to 4x square minus 2x plus 1. Now let's bring everything that is on the right hand side to the left hand side, guys. So what you'll get? You'll get minus of 2x square, right, plus 2, and then here minus 1. So you'll get plus 1 here, and here minus 4x plus 2x. So minus 2x is equals to 0. So basically, you will get what? You'll get minus of 2x square minus of 2x plus 1 is equals to 0. Now clearly this is a quadratic equation because the highest part of the variable is 2, right? So this is not the answer. This is the quadratic equation, right? Let's check the second one here. Second one's easy to simplify. You will just bring all of these terms on the left hand side, right? So what do you get when you bring it on the left hand side, guys? Let's do it. So you will have, 2x, then minus x square, then this x square comes here. So minus x square minus 5 is equals to 0. So when you simplify, what do you get? Minus of 2x square plus 2x minus 5 is equals to 0. Again, this here is what? This is a quadratic equation, right? Because the highest part of the variable is still 2, right? Let's see the C part, the third part, everyone. Okay. Now, in C part, again, you will have to simplify because you will have to use identity and open this bracket up. Okay? Chalo. So, what do you get? Root 2x whole square, right? So, that is 2x square plus root 3 whole square. So, that is 3 plus 2 root 6x, right? Root 2 into root 3 into 2. Okay. And then we have an additional x square here, and then here we have 3x square minus 5x. Now, people, look here what is happening. 2x square plus x square. You can add these, right? Like terms, please make sure that you're adding all the like terms together and simplifying. So, you will get 3x square plus 3 plus 2 root 6x is equals to 3x square minus 5x. Now, good thing that you can see here is 3x square and 3x square gets cancelled. Now, whatever this equation is, guys, it's not a quadratic equation because you no longer have a variable with power 2 in it, right? It becomes a linear equation. So, that means that even though option C looked like a quadratic equation, it was not, guys. So, make sure that you simplify and evaluate all the like terms together and convert, in standard form and check. Got it? Okay. Finally, here, you can see that the highest part of the variable here is 4. So, I know that a lot of students would mark this as the answer. They would be like, oh, the highest part of the variable is 4. Clearly, this is not a quadratic equation. But guys, again, I'll repeat it till you get it in your mind like a kida. Key, simplify and then give your answer. So let's simplify, everyone. So again, I'll open this bracket here up by using identity. So I'll have x raised to power 4 plus 4 of x square. Sorry, x raised to power 4 plus 4 of x square plus, here I'll get 4x cube. I've just used identity, nothing else, okay? Is equals to x raised to power 4 plus 3 plus 4x cube. Now here you can clearly see that there are certain things that will be cancelled. For example, x raised to power 4 is on both the sides. It will get cancelled. 4x cube is on both the sides. It will get cancelled. The only thing remaining would be this 4x square. And here we have plus 3. So, sorry people, 4x square minus 3 is equals to 0. Is this not a quadratic equation, guys? It is, right? You have the highest part of the variable as 2. That's all you need to see, right? So this is a quadratic equation, even though at first glance it did not look like one, right? So yes, I hope you understood this question. So with that, let's see another type of question that is again asked in board exams. And in fact, this one was asked just the last year, right? And this question is directly related to standard form, guys. Your equation is given here. You can see the equation, right? And this is expressed as quadratic equation in the form ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. The value of a minus b plus c is asked. What they are saying is, they are saying that this equation here, express it in standard form and figure out the values of a, b and c, and then finally you have to tell what is a minus b plus c. Okay. So let's simplify this first of all. So what would be step number 1? Step number 1 would be making the denominator same, right? So here I'll make the denominator same. So for that I'll have to multiply and divide by x on both the sides for the first term. So I'll get what? X square, and here we'll have 1 only is equals to 3. Now what we'll have, x square plus 1 will be here is equals to 3x. X goes on the other side, you know, the denominator wala x. So now I will bring whatever is on the right hand side to the left hand side. So x square minus 3x plus 1 is equals to 0. Now what is the value of a, everyone? The value of a is the coefficient of x square, which is 1. The value of b is the coefficient of x, which is negative 3. The value of c is constant, which is 1. Right? Now you have to evaluate a minus b plus c. So a minus b plus c will be what? So 1 minus of 3 plus 1. So 1 plus 3 plus 1, everyone, 5. What's the answer, people? The answer is option number A, that is 5. Okay, so yes, I hope this was pretty simple, pretty basic, right? Now let's discuss the roots of a quadratic equation, what they are. See, bacha, if you have an equation, you will have a solution of that equation. That means that there would be certain values of the variable for which the equation will get satisfied, right? For example, if I have something like this, if I have x plus 1 minus 2x, right? X square plus 1 minus 2x is equals to 0, right? Now here, if you plug in the value of x as 1, what do you get? Can you see? So if I put x is equals to 1, this will become what? 1 square plus 1 minus 2. Right? That clearly is equals to 0. So that means x is equals to 1 is satisfying the given equation. Right? So I will say that x is equals to 1 is the root of the given equation. Root of the given equation. Got it? Now, can any value of x be plugged here and you will get, 0? No, right? Only certain values of x will, basically, only certain values of x will basically satisfy the equation, right? Now, how many such values can you find for a quadratic equation? Only 2 values. So remember, since the degree is 2, remember we learned it in polynomials also. For a quadratic polynomial, if, degree is 2, so that means it would have at most n zeros, right? Now similarly, for a quadratic equation, you will have at most 2 real roots. We'll be discussing it later also. Okay? So don't worry. Okay. Now, how is this related to quadratic polynomial? So remember, guys, if I have a quadratic polynomial x square minus 2x plus 1. This is a quadratic polynomial, guys, and I will say that, okay, x is equals to 1 is a 0 of this polynomial. Right? Now, as soon as I equate this entire polynomial to 0, this same x is equals to 1 becomes a root of the equation. So did you understand the difference between the root and 0 and also the connection? What is the connection? See, if I have ax square plus bx plus c, here it's a quadratic polynomial, and I equate it to 0 to make it a quadratic, quadratic equation, right? So alpha and beta, let's suppose alpha and beta are the zeros here, right? So we already know that alpha plus beta would be equals to minus b by a. Do you remember the relationship wala part in polynomials, right? The sum of the zeros would be equal to minus coefficient of x over coefficient of x square, right? Now this is also true for quadratic equation written in standard form. Remember, for a quadratic equation written in standard form, alpha plus beta would be equals to minus b by a and alpha beta would be equals to c by a. This is important. Understood? And where alpha comma beta are roots of ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. And remember, guys, you do get question on this. Okay, so remember, you just have to apply the concept of polynomials. That's why I said that quadratic and polynomials chapter are interlinked. Okay, so this is important. Please remember. Let's move on to another question that was asked in 2023. on the same concept. Okay, on the same concept, guys. A quadratic equation whose one root is 2 and the sum of whose roots is 0. So one root is given and sum of roots is given. So I already know that a quadratic equation only has 2 roots, right? A quadratic equation has 2 roots. Usme say one root is 2, another root is not given, but the sum is given 0. One root is given 2, sum is given 0. So I can clearly guess that the missing root would be -2, like it's a no-brainer, right? So what are the roots? The roots are 2, -2 are the roots of the given equation. Okay, now can you not form the quadratic equation, guys? It's very easy, right? X square minus sum of roots. Sum of roots, so 2 minus 2 is 0 into x plus product of roots. So plus 2 into -2, that is -4 is equals to 0. So now we have x square minus 4 is equals to 0. This is our quadratic equation. And so option number D is the correct answer. Everyone that gave the correct answer before me, pat yourself on the back, guys. Very simple, very easy question, right? And yes, this was the concept. You could have done this question multiple ways, guys. You could have checked which of the following equation does have 2 as its 0 and the sum of roots is, which of the following equation has its root as 2, right, and -2. You could have done that also. Totally your choice. Okay, ji? So I hope you understood. Very simple, very easy. With that, let's move on. Now, everyone, let us talk about how to solve quadratic equation. Very simple topic, guys. Something you have learned in 9th grade also. Some of you people might have learned it in 8th grade also, but a topic which a lot of people forget. Okay, a topic where a lot of people struggle, and it's a very basic topic. Okay, so let's see how to find the roots of a quadratic equation using splitting the middle term ya fir factorization method. Factorization method is same as splitting the middle term, guys. Okay, splitting the middle term. I'll write here. Splitting middle term. Okay, chalo ji. So let's see what we'll do first and then we'll move on to the problems. Let's suppose that I have been given a polynomial, a quadratic equation, ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. How do I factorize it and get my answer? So what I will do is basically I will be finding I'll write it again. I'll be finding 2 constants. What I'll be doing? I'll be finding 2 constants. Let's just suppose my constants are m and n. Okay, such that the sum of those numbers, some of those integers or numbers, not integers, some of those numbers, some of those numbers should be what? It should be basically, I'll write it again. Sum of numbers should be equals to b and product of numbers should be equals to AC. Okay, remember what you have to do, guys. The first step is to find 2 numbers whose sum is equals to coefficient of x and whose product is equals to the multiplication of coefficient of x square and constant term. Okay, whatever m and n is, next what you will be doing, if you find such numbers, you will be writing this bx as basically mx plus nx. That's it. So that is what you're doing. You're splitting bx into sum of m and nx. Okay? Plus c. Plus c will remain as it is equals to 0. Okay, understood? Now, what you will do basically is you will take something common in the first 2 terms, you will take something common in the last 2 terms, and then you will factorize. Okay? So, I hope this was clear. With that, we are going to discuss examples through which things will become more clear. Okay? Chalo. This question directly came in 2023 exam, guys. You have to simply find the roots of x square plus 3x minus 10. Very simple. Okay? So, let's start. What you will do, first of all, you will be finding m and n such that m plus n should be equals to what? It should be equals to 3. M into n should be equals to what? It should be equals to -10. Now, first of all, guys, use your brain. Think about it. M into n, -10. Now, this tells us that either m and n both are positive or both are negative. That, right? Both should be positive, both should be negative. Now, if both of those are positive, both of those, if m into n is negative, then that means that one of the numbers should be negative. One number should be negative, right? So either m is negative or n is negative. One of the number has to be negative, right? Another one will be positive. But which number is negative, which number is positive? Now let's come to this one. M plus n is 3. Think about it. Sum of number is positive and one number is negative, one is positive. How can that happen? That can only happen if the larger number is positive, right? So if I am supposing that m is a larger number, m is the larger number, then this simply means that larger number is positive. These small things, are important. Like, this is all common sense. This is something you should do in your brain. That's it. Okay? So now I know that I have to find a positive number and a negative number whose sum is 3. Product is 10. Okay, okay. I know that 5 into 2 is 10. Okay? Now I know that the I know that the larger number should be what? Positive, right? And smaller number is negative. So let's just suppose this is 5 and this is negative 2. Right? Now I know that 5 plus negative 2 is equals to 3. So see, 5 and negative 2 are satisfying both the things. Right? So make sure that you understand how to find the sign of both the numbers. Okay? And then you find the numbers. To find the numbers, start from product, bacha. Think about it, ki 10 can be written as product of which all two numbers. Find all such pairs if possible, and then for those pairs evaluate, right? For example, here I simply needed to evaluate the difference because I knew one number is negative, one is positive. So positive plus negative means negative, matlab you're subtracting, right? So I just needed to think ki bhai which two numbers on subtraction give me 3 and on multiplication give me 10. So I knew that 5 and 2 on subtraction give 3 and on multiplication 10. फिर साइन वाली चीज, ठीक है? अंडरस्टूड? चलो, now I will do what? I will write 3x as positive of 5x minus 2x. Okay? Minus 10 is equals to 0. Now in the first two terms you will take something common. So the only common thing is x, everyone. So here we'll have x plus 5 and here again I'll take common in the last two terms. What do I have common in last two terms? Only negative 2. So here I'll have x plus 5 is equals to 0. So from here you can see that, okay, x is equals to 2 and x is equals to negative 5. So what are the roots, everyone? The roots of this simple, very simple equation is 2 and negative 5. 2 and negative 5, guys. This is the answer. Okay, so everyone that gave the correct answer, pat yourself on the back. Good job, guys. Well done. Okay, chalo. So with that, let's move on to the next question. Again, we are going to practice the same thing that we learned. Okay, this was a 2-marker question back in 2013. Now, guys, please don't think ki, arey ma'am, kya, kis time ke question you are bringing, like 2013, my God. But bacha, remember, CBSE has a pattern of repeating questions. Okay, there were questions that were asked in 2011 and 2012 that did come in 2025 question paper or 2024 question paper. Okay, so please make sure that you practice as many PYQs no matter how far they are dating back. Okay, because CBSE has a pattern of repeating certain type of problems. Remember that. Okay, so yes, let's do this again. Okay, so first of all, I'll be figuring out m and n such that the multiplication is what? Multiplication is 4 root 3 into negative 2 root 3. Right? So 4 root 3 into negative root 3. What would that give us? That would give us negative of 24. So m into n should be negative of 24, while m plus n should give us a positive result, 5. It should give us 5. Then again the same thing, guys. Again same thing. Product is negative. Product is negative. Matlab one number has to be negative, another has to be positive, right? Now, obviously, the bigger number would be positive and the smaller number would be negative because the sum is positive, right? So, matlab you will find two numbers, one positive, one negative, and on evaluating them, you should get 5. Matlab on subtracting numbers, you should get 5. Two numbers whose subtraction gives you 5 and multiplication negative 24. Come on, guys, think about it. Any number like that? If you ever get stuck, no worries. Take the product and start writing down the product, start writing down the number as product of two numbers, right? For example, here I can write it as 12 into 2. That does not work. 12 minus 2 is not 5. Okay, I can write it as 4 into 3. 4 into 8. 3 into 8. 3 into 8, right? I can write it in as 3 into 8. Now here your brain should be like, oh my god, wait. 8 minus 3 is 5, right? 8 minus 3 is 5. So I now know the numbers. The numbers are what? The numbers are 8 comma negative 3. 8 minus 3, 5. 8 into 3, negative 3, negative 24. Okay? Chalo. So now all I need to do, everyone, is break down plus 5x as plus 8x minus 3x minus 2 root 3 is equals to 0. Now what I'll do, I will take, now here, see everyone, what I can take common here, I can clearly take 4x common here, right? So if I do that, I'll get root 3x here plus 2 here. अब यहाँ पर let's apply our brain. What can I take common here? Now in first glance, it would look like there is nothing common. But there is something common. Why? Because I can write 3 as root 3 into root 3. And as soon as I think like that, I can see that, oh my god, if I do that, then I can take 1 root 3 out, right? Or basically minus root 3 out. If I take minus root 3 out, then inside here what will remain? This root 3x. Yes or no? Root 3 into root 3, guys, 3. Okay? Acha, here you had a negative sign, you already took it out. So if negative sign is taken out, then what remains? Positive sign. Okay? So here I'll get 2 is equals to 0. Understood, everyone? Simple. Now I can see that there are two terms here whose root 3 and in both the terms root 3x plus 2 is common. Right? So here I'll take root 3x plus 2 common, and here I'll have 4x minus root 3. That would be equals to 0. Now from here, what you will do, you will equate each of these to 0 individually. Why would you do that, guys? Because a into b, if a into b is equals to 0, then that simply means that a has to be 0 or b has to be 0. Right? So here also same thing applies. Either root 3x plus 2 has to be 0. Now if this becomes 0, then x becomes minus 2 over root 3. Or 4x minus root 3 has to be 0. Now if this happens, then x is equals to root 3 by 4. Yes or no, guys? Cool, simple, easy, right? Okay, so yes, that's it. These are the two roots, negative of 2 root 3 and root 3 by 4. Okay, so I think this looked hard, but it was very simple, right? Okay, chalo, let's do one more problem based on splitting the middle term, guys, and let's see how fast you have become in this. This again came in 2012 for 3 marks, everyone. Again, what we'll do, we'll figure out m and n such that m into n would be equals to 3 into 2, guys, 6. And m plus n has to be equals to negative of 2 root 6. Okay, how will you do this? Now everyone, let's apply little bit of common sense or little bit of arithmetic that we know. Think about it. I can write 6 as root 6 into root 6. That's the first thing that should strike your mind. Why? Because here you have root 6, right? So you think, how can I relate root 6 with 6? So I can relate root 6 with 6 by writing 6 as root 6 into root 6. Matlab, I have to find two numbers now whose product is 6. So I found two numbers whose product is 6. Root 6 and root 6, right? But root 6 plus root 6. What is root 6 plus root 6, everyone? Root 6 plus root 6 is equals to 2 root 6. So I am really close to m and n, but not exactly there, because here you have negative sign. No worries, no worries. I'll put negative sign here, bhai. Kya ho gaya? Negative root 6 plus negative root 6. What do you get? You get negative of 2 root 6. Did you get the values of m and n? They are what? Negative root 6, negative root 6. Or, acha, chalo, that will come afterwards. Let's first write this down, okay? So now here I can write this as 3x square minus 2 root 6x can be broken as, sorry guys, minus root 6x minus root 6x plus 2 is equals to 0, right? Here, what can I take as common? Again, a big question. Now, think about it. I'll write this so that you people understand. What I am going to do is, since I am unable to find anything common, I can take x as common. I can do that. Okay? But what happens is, whatever you get inside the bracket, that should be same for both of these, right? So, wahan par, if you don't take something common here, you will get stuck, bacha. Okay? So, what I will do is, I will break down root 6x as root 2 into root 3x. I can do that, guys. Yes or no? Okay? And even this 3x, where I will write it like this. Root 3 square x square. Can I not do that, everyone? I can, right? Okay. Now, again, this root 6x I'll break as root 2 into root 3x plus 2 I'll write as root 2 into root 2. Okay. Now, I think you can easily see what is common in the first two terms and in the last two terms. Because in the first two terms, clearly root 3x is common, right? So, here only root 3x will remain. Here only negative of root 2 will remain. Yes or no, guys? Here again I'll take negative sign as common and root 2 also as common. So here, root 3x will be here and here root 2 will be here. And since I took negative common and here we have a positive sign, so automatically here you should have negative sign. Because think of it, now if you are taking negative sign outside, so inside whatever signs are there, they will be converted to the opposite sign. So addition becomes subtraction. Okay? So now root 3x minus 2 will be taken as common. So either only root 3x will remain and here negative root 2 will remain. Okay, and remember to equate all of this equals to 0. Okay, now everyone, you can clearly see that this here is what? This here is nothing but root 3x minus root 2 whole square is equals to 0. So ultimately, this here, if you would have looked at it really closely, you would have found that this is nothing but the square of root 3x minus root 2. How interesting, right? If you were, think about it. If this question comes in your exam now, you will remember practicing it and you would directly write it using identity like this, right? And you would save a lot of steps, है ना? ठीक है? Chalo. But anyways, now what you will do, you will equate it to 0. So x is equals to root 2 over root 3. Right? Now, here you are only getting 1 0. That means, 1 root because the root is repeated. Okay, we'll understand repeated roots. Don't worry about it. Okay? So, but the answer is x is equals to root 2 over root 3 or root 2 by 3. Okay? Simple. Okay? Chalo. So, yes, let's move on to the next type of questions that you get based on the same topic. So, another type of question that you can get is, the root of a quadratic equation is given and then there's a variable in the quadratic equation whose value is asked. Right? For example, here x is equals to 3 is given as the root of x square minus 2kx minus 6 is equals to 0 and you are asked to find the value of k. So, how would you do that? It's very simple. You will just plug the root in the quadratic equation and just equate it and find the value of the variable, unknown basically. Right? So, let's do this. Chalo. So, in place of x, I am going to put 3 everyone. Okay? So, what do I get? I get 3 square minus 2k into 3 minus 6 is equals to 0. So, I have 9 minus 6k minus 6 is equals to 0. So, 9 minus 6 is 3. So, 3 minus 6k is equals to 0. From here, what do you get? You get k as 3 over 6 everyone, which is equals to half. So, the value of k comes out to be half. That's it. Simple. Easy. Right? So, how easy this was. So, again, this is another type of question that can be asked directly from the, This is another type of question that can be directly asked from the very definition of root of the equation. Okay? Now, let's see another method of finding out the roots of a quadratic equation. So, that method is a direct formula which gets you the roots, okay? So, this formula is known as quadratic formula or Sridharacharya formula, okay? So, please don't get confused if you see the word Sridharacharya in your, exam. By that, they mean that you have to apply the formula that I am going to just write now, okay? So, yes, what does the formula say? The formula says that for any quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0, the roots alpha beta are given by the formula minus b plus minus under root of b square minus 4 into a into c, whole thing divided by 2 into a. Okay, or in other words, you can say that the one of the root would be minus b plus under root of b square minus 4ac over 2a, and another root would be minus b minus under root of b square minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, so these are the two roots of a quadratic equation, and the formula, guys, is known as Sridharacharya formula. Please remember this. Okay, so yes, this is very easy to mug up, and remember, whenever your brain is not working in splitting the middle term Wallah method, quickly apply this method and get your answer. Don't waste your time. Got it? Okay, chalo. So let's do a problem based on quadratic formula. Okay, so here we have to do what? We have to solve this quadratic equation. You can do it by splitting the middle term also, but it might take a lot of time to actually understand how should you split the middle term. So इसीलिए we'll quickly do it through quadratic formula. ठीक है? चलो. So here everyone, I'll quickly write down the values of a, b and c. So a here is what? Coefficient of x square, which is 4. B is what? 4b. So please don't get confused by these a, b, c, because I am writing according to this. Ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. Okay, so according to this, I am writing the values of a, b and c. Okay, and finally, what's the value of c, everyone? The value of c is minus of a square minus b square. Okay, got it? What does the formula say, everyone? The formula says that the roots would look like this: minus b plus minus under root of b square minus 4ac over twice of a. Right? So now let's plug all these values here and see what we are getting. So if we plug all the values, what we will get? So a is directly given as 4. First of all, we'll plug b, right? So minus 4b, b is actually minus of 4b, plus minus under root of b square, that would be 16b square, right? Minus 4, then a. What is a, everyone? A is also 4. And what is c, everyone? That is minus of a square minus b square. Please don't forget your minus signs. Okay? Over twice of a. So twice of 4. 2 into 4. Now all we need to do is simplify this. Okay, so let's quickly simplify this, everyone. We'll have minus of 4b plus minus under root of 16b square minus 4 into 4, 16. Now look, here we have minus, here also we have minus, right? So this minus into minus becomes positive, right? So plus 16, here we have a square minus b square, right? Divided by what, everyone? Divided by 8. Okay, now can you see that 16 is common in both of these, right? So we can bring 16 out, right? So what we will have? We'll have minus of 4b plus minus under root of, here we have, or before bringing 16 out, let's just see that if I multiply 16 inside this bracket here, I'll get 16a square minus 16b square, right? So 16b square minus 16b square becomes 0. The only thing remaining would be 16a square, right? So I can say that, okay, wait. Here we'll only get 16a square divided by 8, right, everyone? Okay. So now we can simplify this. We can see that under root of 16a square can be written as 4a. 4a ka whole square is 16a square, right? So here we'll have minus 4b plus minus 4a over 8, right? So which you can simplify as, minus of b plus minus a over 2. I have taken 4 and just cancelled 8. Okay? So this we get. Now you have to write the individual roots. So how will you write the individual root? The first root would be minus b plus a. The second root would be minus b minus a divided by 2. Divided by 2 also. Sorry guys. Okay, so let me write the roots for all of you people. Yes. So the roots would be minus b plus a divided by 2 and minus b minus a divided by 2. Okay, so this first addition sign and then negative sign. Simple, easy. Okay, so see, this formula made our work so easy. So I hope you understood this. With that, guys, let's move on, and now let us discuss the nature of roots. So see, everyone, we have already discussed that a quadratic equation will have at most 2 real roots. right? Now we are going to go in depth. ठीक है? We are going to see how we will know what kind of roots will a quadratic equation get. ठीक है? So first of all, guys, the first thing to notice, do you remember the Sridharacharya formula that we just studied? Minus b plus minus under root of b square minus 4ac over 2a, right? This gives us the roots of the equation. Now, let me ask you, what happens if b square minus 4ac becomes negative? What happens if, again, I am asking, b square minus 4ac becomes negative? दिक्कत हो जाएगी. Why? Because I do not know how to find the under root of a negative number. I don't know how can I find the under root of something negative. How will I do that? Matlab, there is no real number, guys, which looks like this, right? So this entire part becomes non-real. Non-real. When does it become non-real? When b square minus 4ac is negative. Right? When b square minus 4ac is negative, this becomes under root of something negative. Under root of something negative is not real. Okay? It does not exist in the world of real numbers. So, iska matlab that if b square minus 4ac is less than 0, then I'll not get any real roots. Right or not? Hai na? Now, bacha, good for you that they have named this entire thing as discriminant. Discriminant, right? So here they have not written the word, no worries. This here, discriminant. Okay, discriminant. So what is discriminant? Discriminant is b square minus 4ac, okay, denoted by capital of D. If b square minus 4ac becomes 0, less than 0, then that means that there will be no real roots. And no real roots matlab, the roots would be imaginary, guys. You'll be learning about imaginary numbers, so don't worry about that. But for now, you should remember that for d less than 0, the roots are imaginary. ठीक है? अब if b square minus 4ac is positive, if b square minus 4ac is positive, then this under root wala thing, whatever it is, it would come in the world of real numbers. ठीक है? है ना? ठीक है. So that tells me that if d is greater than 0 or even if d is equals to 0, even if d is equals to 0, in both the cases the roots would be real, right? Sorry, in both the cases roots would be real, right? But still, let's see both the cases individually. So first let's see the case when d is 0. When d is 0, matlab this entire under root wala thing becomes 0. If the entire under root wala thing becomes 0, think about it, what would your roots look like? Your roots would simply look like this, minus b by 2a. That's it. Right or not? Because this entire part has become 0, everyone. Obviously. Okay? So that means that if d becomes 0, your roots would be minus b by 2a. But quadratic equation has two roots. Yahan par to I am only getting minus b by 2a. Matlab this root is repeated. Okay, so you get two equal roots when d is equals to 0. And those two roots look like this, minus b by 2a. That's it, guys. Okay, so if discriminant is 0, then your roots are both equal and both of them are what? They are nothing but minus b by 2a. Okay, now if d is greater than 0, that means this value does exist. Okay, and it is real. Right? If b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, then its under root would be in the world of real numbers. It will exist. And if it will exist, ye plus or minus wala sign will come, right? So one root would be minus b, minus of under root b square minus 4ac over 2a. And another root would be minus b plus under root of b square minus 4ac over 2a, right? So you'll get two distinct real roots when discriminant is greater than 0. So remember, when discriminant is greater than 0, guys, then you get what? You get roots that are real and distinct. Okay? And you can write the roots also very easily. Understood? So there are three cases for roots, guys. When d is equals to 0, you get two real equal roots equals to minus b by 2a. When d is strictly greater than 0, then also the roots would be real, but they would be distinct. They would be both unique, right? And if d is less than 0, then obviously the under root wala thing won't be real. So that means the entire roots won't be real. So both the roots would be imaginary, both of them. Okay? So now, based on this very important topic, guys, you get lots and lots of problems in board exams. Let's see the different types of problems, right? So first type of question would be very simple. They would ask you to find the discriminant. That's it. Find the discriminant of the quadratic equation. Okay? So to find the discriminant, guys, the first thing you should do is convert your quadratic equation in standard form and then apply b square minus 4ac. Got it? Understood? Before applying b square minus 4ac, please convert in standard form, guys. Don't forget this very basic thing. Okay? Here the equation already is in standard form. Good for us. So yes, let's see what we'll get. B is 3, everyone. So 3 square minus 4. A is 1, everyone. And C is minus of 2. Can you see C is minus of 2? Right? So here we'll get 9 plus 8. That is equals to 17. What's the answer, everyone? The answer is 17. Let's mark that right now. Option number B. What happened? Okay, now it's all right. Okay, simple, easy, and this question came in 2025. So how easy was that? Okay, and one mistake that a lot of people make is they think that discriminant is under root of b square minus 4ac. Nahi bacha, under root is not involved in discriminant. Okay, b square minus 4ac. That's it. Okay, please remember. With that, let's move on to the next type of problem. You can see that this problem here came in 2025 for 5 marks, guys. 5 marks. Okay, so let's see what kind of problem it is. So here what we have to do is we have to find the value of k for which this quadratic equation has real and equal roots, and then subsequently we have to find the roots of the equations also. Okay? Now these kinds of problems are very common, where what you would be given a quadratic equation, and they would be asking you to find the value of an unknown quantity that is there in the equation, provided the equation has either imaginary roots, या real and equal roots, या real and unequal roots. They can give you all 3 cases. ठीक है? चलो. How do you do it? So let's start with the real and equal roots wala part. So we know that for real and equal roots, for real and equal roots, right? So for real and equal roots, what do you have, everyone? We just studied that discriminant should be equals to 0. That means b square minus 4ac should be equals to 0. Now let's see what b is, what a is, and what c is. So we can see that a is equals to 2 here, b is equals to k here, and c is equals to 3 here, right? So let's just put everything here, everyone. So we'll get what? K square minus 4, a is 2, so 2 into 3 is equals to 0, right? So from here you can see that, okay, k square minus 24 should be equals to 0, and from here you can see that, okay, k square should be equals to 24, right? Now that tells us that k should be equals to positive or negative of under root of 24, right? Because k square is coming as 24, so that means there would be 2 values of k. There would be 2 possible values of k. One would be positive 24, another one would be negative 24, under root of 24, sorry. So I can simplify this like this also, plus minus 2 of under root of 4. Sorry, my 6, yeah. Okay, now we got 2 values of k, everyone. Now what we'll do is, for each value of k, we will write the equation again. Okay? So how many equations will be formed? There would be 2 equations that will be formed. I think you can see. Okay? First put the value of k as positive of 2 root 6. Okay? Chalo, let's write the equation, everyone. So first equation 1. Equation 1 would be what? It would be 2x square plus 2 root 6x plus 3 is equals to 0, right? And equation second, everyone, equation second would be what? It would be 2x square minus 2 root 6x plus 3 is equals to 0. So we plugged in the values of k, right, 2 times, and we got 2 equations. Now for each of the equations we have to find the roots. Now here, guys, here Use smart work. What is that smart work? Smart work is this. We know that this equation here should have real and equal roots. Then only we figured out the value of k, right? So I know that the values of k that I figured out, for that value of k, both these equations will have real and equal roots. Now I know that real and equal roots ke case mein the repeated roots are what? The repeated roots would be minus b by 2a. Do you remember? Right? By Sridharacharya formula, the entire discriminant is 0. So, wala part is gone, the under root wala part is gone, only minus b by 2a remains, right? So, now let's plug in all the values, everyone. So, here we'll have minus of 2 root 6 divided by 2a. So, 2 into 2. So, we'll get under root of 6 by 2 with minus sign. So, let's just, this is negative of root 3. Right? So, we have 2 root 6 minus of 2 root 6, 2 into 4. Okay. Oh, sorry, I made a very small mistake. Let me correct myself. Okay, let me correct myself, everyone. This is this negative of root 6 over 2. Right? So, I can simplify this. So, I'll get negative of root 3 by 2. Now, this is all right. Okay? So, there was no under root here. I'm so sorry. Okay. So, now let's move on. We got one root. Now, for the second equation also, we'll figure out the roots. So, for the second equation, the roots again would look like this, minus b by 2a. Right? So, here minus b by 2a would be what? So, minus minus positive. So, 2 root 6 divided by 4. So, this time again we'll have root 6 by 2. So, that would be root 3 by 2 in positive. So, both these equations have repeated roots and we have written down the roots. How easy was that, right? 5-marker question, guys, and I think it was very, very basic question. So, yes, with that, let's move on to the next problem. Okay, this is an assertion reason type question, guys, and again based on nature of roots. Okay? If one root of the quadratic equation 4x square minus 10x plus bracket k minus 4 is equals to 0 is the reciprocal of the other, the value of k is 8. Okay, so whenever you have assertion reason type question, the first step is to figure out whether both the statements are individually correct or not, right? So here let's just check whether this statement is individually correct or not. So for that, let's just see, they are saying that the roots of this are reciprocal of each other. So, if one root is alpha, the another root should be 1 over alpha. Yes or no, everyone? Right? Now, they are saying that if this happens, the value of k should be what? K should be 8. Okay. So, what I'll do is, I will take this, these are the roots and figure out the value of k. Okay, and see whether this is coming out to be 8 or not. Okay. Now here we are not going to use any concept of quadratic equation. Instead, we are going to use the concept of quadratic polynomial, where we studied that the product of zeros is always equals to c by a. The product of roots also is equals to c by a. Hai na? The product of roots would be equals to c by a, which is k minus 4 over 4. Now, alpha into 1 by alpha is 1. So, that basically tells us that k minus 4 over 4 is equals to 1. And from here, we can see that, okay, k is equals to 8. We got the value of k as 8, everyone. Very simple, very easy. We only use the funda that product of roots is equals to c by a. That's it. So, yes, k came out to be 8. So, this statement is true, everyone. Individually, it is true. Now, let's move on to the second statement, which is saying that the roots of the quadratic equation x square minus x plus 1 is equals to 0 are real. So, let's check whether the roots are real or not. And we know the way to check, right? We know that all we need to do is figure out the discriminant. If discriminant is either greater than 0 or equals to 0, then roots are obviously real. Okay? Chalo. So, let's figure out the discriminant, everyone. B square minus 4ac, which will be equals to what? Minus 1 whole square minus 4 1 into 1, right? So, this comes out to be what? 1 minus 4, which is negative 3. Now, negative 3 is clearly less than 0, and that tells us roots are imaginary. Yes or no, everyone? If discriminant is less than 0, then the roots are imaginary, roots are not real. But this statement is saying that the roots are real. So statement is false. So now you don't have to check whether the second statement is explaining the first statement or not, because yahan to first step mein hi you have figured out the problem that only one statement is correct, right? So what would be the correct answer, guys? The correct answer is assertion A is true but reason is false. This is the correct answer. Got it? Assertion A is true but reason is what? It is false. Simple, basic. Okay. So with that, let's move on to the next problem. This again is a 4-marker question. Now, a lot of people would be like, ma'am, you know, these questions are like they are from so far back. Why are we doing this? So again, I'll repeat, guys, that CBSE has a habit of repeating patterns in questions, okay? So there are questions, in fact, that came in 2011 that were repeated in 2025. So you need to do as many different types of problems, from previous board exams as you can. Okay? Chalo. Find the values of k for which the quadratic equation which is given here is equals to 0 has equal roots. Also find the roots. Now this question has come again and again in board exam. So this is a pretty important question, guys, and a very easy one as that. So let's do it. Chalo. It is given that this one has, equal roots, right? So we know that for equal real roots, what happens is discriminant should be 0, right? So b square minus 4ac should be equals to 0. Now let's see what b is there. So you can see that a is this, everyone, b is this, and c is 1, right? So what do we have? We have k plus 1 whole square minus 4, k plus 4, c is 1, right? This should be equals to 0. Now we have to solve this. So let's do it. So let's open this up, this bracket here. So a plus b whole square is a square plus b square plus 2ab, right? So here we'll have k square plus 1 plus 2k. Here let's multiply negative 4 inside the bracket. So negative 4k, negative 16 is equals to 0. Now we'll have what? K square negative of 2k, everyone. Negative of 15 is equals to 0. Now this here is what? This has become a quadratic equation in terms of k, and you have to solve it. So let's use splitting the middle term, right? So think about it. Two numbers, guys, whose product is negative 15, and addition gives us negative 2. Okay, so that means one number is positive, one is negative, clearly. So think about it. What about 5 and 3? If I do negative 5 plus 3, I'll get negative 2, and negative 5 into 3 is negative 15. Yes? Okay. So, chalo, k square minus, now 2k will be broken as minus 5k plus 3k. Minus 15 is equals to 0. Okay? So, I'll take k common. So, here I'll have k minus 5 inside the bracket, and from the last two terms, I'll take 3 common. Again, I'll have k minus 5 inside the bracket is equals to 0. So, here I'll have k plus 3. Here I'll have k minus 5 is equals to 0. So, from here, I get the value of k as negative 3 and 5. These are the two values of k. Okay. So we have figured out the values of k, which was the first part of this entire question, that we had to find the value of k. Okay. But guys, the question is not over, because now they are also asking us to find the roots of this equations. In fact, two equations will be formed, right? Okay. So since we are getting two values of k, we'll have two equations. So let's write both the equations, everyone. Here. Chalo. Let's do it. Okay. So first of all, if I have k is equals to 5. If k is equals to 5, what would the equation look like, guys? The equation would look like this. 9x square plus 6x plus 1 is equals to 0. What would the roots look like? Now you don't have to apply a lot of brain in figuring out roots. Why? Because they have given that this equation has equal roots. If the equation has real and equal roots, then the roots value is equals to minus b by 2a. Baat khatam. Got it? So minus b over twice of a, that is 18. So that would be equals to minus 1 by 3. Cool? Okay. Now, if k is equals to negative 3, write down the equation. What would the equation look like? The equation would look like x square minus of 2x plus 1 is equals to 0. Again, guys, roots are equal. So we know what the values of roots would be, right? It would be minus b by 2a. So minus b by 2a matlab 2 over 1. Sorry, 2 over 2, guys, my fault. 2 over 2 minus b over 2a. So that would be equals to 1. Okay? So what are the roots? Here, the second part, for the second part of the question, this is the answer. Both of these are the answers because you are getting two equations. Okay? Understood, everyone? And I think this was very basic. But again, very interesting question. Okay? So remember, guys, whenever you have real and equal roots, please use the shortcut minus b by 2a are the roots. Okay? Chalo, with that, guys, let's move on to the next question here. If AD is not equals to BC, we have to prove that this equation that is given to us has no real roots. We have to prove that this equation has no real roots. Now, I know that for no real roots, what is the inequality that should follow? The inequality should be basically this: b square minus 4ac should be less than 0. B square minus 4ac should be less than 0. Right? Because then only, if the discriminant is less than 0, under root wala part would be negative, so no real roots. Okay? So what I will do, step number 1, guys, is we will figure out b square minus 4ac first, and we will show that the b square minus 4ac that we have figured out, it is actually less than 0. Okay? Chalo. So first of all, let's write the value of a, b and c. So here the value of a is a square plus b square. Okay? The value of b is twice of AC plus BD, and the value of C is what? C square plus D square. Please don't get confused between A, B, C. This here is basically for standard form of quadratic equation. Okay? Chalo. Now, let's start, everyone. So first of all, we'll figure out b square minus 4ac. So b square minus 4ac is equals to what? So it would be equals to twice of AC plus BD ka whole square, right? Minus 4 times AC. So A is A square plus B square, and C is what? C is equals to C square plus D square. Now all you need to do is start the simplification process. First here use the identity. Okay? So bacha 2 square is 4, right? 4. Now here to open this one, you will have to use identity. So treat it as A, treat it as B. So A square plus B square plus 2AB. That's how you'll open it up, right? So first term square is A square C square. Second term square is B square D square plus twice of A, B, C, D. Right? Now, minus 4, open this bracket also, everyone. So what we'll get? We'll get A square C square plus A square D square plus B square C square plus B square D square. Right, everyone? Simple? Okay. Now, let's open the brackets and let's cancel whatever we can. Okay? Chalo. So I can see that 4a square c square negative 4a square c square go gone. Right? Similarly, 4b square d square and negative 4b square d square go gone. Okay, you can cancel it, right? You can simplify it. So I will directly write after simplification what do we get. Okay. So I'll have what? 8a b c d left from the first bracket because both of these will get cancelled. Okay, and from the second bracket we'll have minus of 4 a square d square plus b square c square. Now here comes the important part. Till here there was nothing that you could not do. It's very simple, okay? Like you just have to simplify and simplify and simplify. Now here comes the main part, everyone. What I will do first of all is I'll take negative common so that you people understand what I'm doing. If I take negative common, this thing here would be what? 4a square d square plus 4b square c square. Now since this was positive and I took negative common, so its sign will change to negative. So negative of 8 a, b, c, d. Okay? If you can spot what is hidden here, then well done guys, good job. And if you cannot, no worries, I'll further simplify. See here, 4a square d square can be written as 2ad ka whole square. 4b square c square can be written as 2bc. Sorry, I'll rewrite this. Twice of bc whole square. And this here can be written as 2 into 2ad 2bc. Can you now see what is going to happen? Can you see an identity is being formed here? Yes? See here, a square plus b square minus 2ab. And what is that, everyone? That is equals to a minus b ka whole square, right? So minus of, what is the first term? Twice of ad. So 2ad, since here we have negative sign, so a minus b whole square, sorry. So 2ad minus 2bc whole square, right? So now we got the value of b square minus 4ac, everyone. I'll write it here. B square minus, wait, or where should I write it? Wait, I'll write it here. Let me write this here, everyone. We got the value of b square minus 4ac, b square minus 4ac as equals to minus of 2ad minus 2ac whole square, right? Okay. Now here, look here what is given, that AD is not equals to BC. This is BC, not AC. तो अब पहली बात तो everyone, think here. This value here has negative sign here, and this here is a whole square. So matlab this would either be positive or it would be equals to 0. There's no other condition. This can never be negative, right? The square of anything, the square of any real number can never be negative. It would either be positive or it would either be equals to 0, right? So ab that means that this thing here is either positive or 0. And there's a minus sign here. So matlab this entire thing can either be positive or it could be equals to 0. There are two scenarios. Now let's discuss 0 wala scenario. When will this entire thing become 0? This entire thing becomes 0 when the inside term, this thing here becomes 0. Right? If twice of AD minus twice of BC is equals to 0, then only this will be 0. Otherwise the square won't be 0. The square of 0 only is 0 na? Baki kisi ka square is not 0. Ab, you have to eliminate this 0 wala thing. Ki nahi, this cannot be 0. And how can we do that? By using this, everyone. We know that AD is not equals to BC. And that simply means that AD minus BC is not equals to 0. Obviously, if AD is not equals to BC, then obviously their subtraction is not equals to 0. Now, that tells us that twice of AD minus twice of BC is also not equals to 0. I just multiplied 2 on the left hand side. I can do that, right? So if this is not equals to 0, then that tells us that its square will also not be equals to 0. Its square will also not be equals to 0. Yes or no? If this is not equals to 0, its square is not equals to 0, तो मतलब 0 वाला part तो गया. That means the only thing remaining is that this thing would be positive and this entire thing, since you have a negative sign here, would be negative. I wrote positive there, sorry, my mistake. Okay, so ultimately what you will write that since AD is not equals to BC, so that signifies that negative of twice of AD minus twice of BC whole square has to be negative. That means that we have proved that b square minus 4ac is less than 0. So roots are non-real. Do you understand? This was the main part, guys. This was the understanding wala part. ठीक है, so what did we do in this problem? We figured out b square minus 4ac. In simplification process, at the very end, we used identity to show that this entire thing becomes negative of square of something. Now, negative of square of something is either 0 or positive. ठीक है, we eliminated 0 वाला case because in the beginning only it was given that both the terms are not equal. So that means their difference is not equal. That means their difference square is not equal. Not equals to 0. ठीक है, so the only case remaining was b square minus 4ac that we got is negative, and that means roots are non-real. If you did not understand, you can rewatch this entire question again, but we are going to move forward, right? Okay, now pretty basic question, guys. Came in 2023. In fact, this question has come again and again in board exams. Again, repeated question of board exams. So please pay attention, and a very easy one. Okay, find the value of p for which one root of the quadratic equation px square minus 14x plus 8 is equals to 0 is 6 times the other. Okay, so the roots of this equation px square minus 14x plus 8 is equals to 0. Let's suppose let roots of this equation be alpha and 6 alpha. Why did I take 6 alpha? Because one root is 6 times the other. So if one root is alpha, the second root would be 6 alpha only. No brainer, right? Okay. Now, we have to figure out the value of p. If that happens, ठीक है. अब यहाँ पर everyone, you are going to use the concepts you have learned in the chapter polynomials. What concepts? So we know first of all that sum of roots would be equal to minus b by a. Minus b by a. Do you remember this? Yes. So minus of minus 14 by p, that is 14 by p. ठीक है, and alpha into 6 alpha, that means product of root would be equals to c by a. C by a means 8 by p. ठीक है, okay. Now we are simply going to do what? We are going to simplify now both of these. ठीक है, तो सबसे पहले तो let's simplify this. So here 6 alpha plus 6 alpha is what? 7 alpha, which is equals to 14 by p. From here, can we not say that, okay, if that happens, then the value of alpha will come out to be what? 2 by p. The value of alpha would be 2 by p. Simple. Okay, let me take it as 1. This is 1, everyone. Okay. Now, alpha into 6 alpha is 8 by p. Okay. Now, this becomes 6 alpha square is equals to 8 over. Now, in place of p, I can write alpha. Right, so alpha, in place of p, I can write the value of p from here. The value of p from here is what? 2 over alpha. Okay, if you did not understand, I'll simplify this. Wait, p is equals to 2 by alpha. आप समझ में आ गया? ठीक है, simple. Okay, so from first, I figured out the value of p as 2 by alpha and put it here. That's it. ठीक है. Why? Because here we had two variables, alpha and p. I wanted this entire equation to become in one variable, so I can proceed to solve it. Okay, so that's why I figured out the value of p in terms of alpha. You could have figured out the value of alpha in terms of p also and put same thing, everyone, same thing. Okay, okay, chalo. So what do we get? 6 alpha square is equals to, this is right, 8 by p. हाँ, ठीक है, here we'll get 4 alpha, right? So here we'll have 6 alpha square minus 4 alpha is equals to 0. Okay, now I can take 2 alpha common. So here we'll have what? 3 alpha minus 2 is equals to 0. From here the value of alpha comes out to be either 0 or alpha comes out to be equals to 2 by 3. Right, this here became a quadratic equation. Can you see? This here is what? It's a quadratic equation. So now you have just simply, factorized it and you got the value of alpha is 0 and alpha is equals to 2 by 3. Okay? Now everyone, if alpha becomes 0, what happens? Let's see. Okay? If alpha is 0, then 6 alpha is also 0. Okay, what is the value of p then? The value of p is equals to 2 by alpha. Not defined. Not defined. Right or not? So that means this case we have to ignore. We have to ignore because we have to figure out the value of p, right? And if I'm taking alpha as 0, p is coming out to be not defined, right? Because p is 2 by alpha from 1. So this is the case we have to ignore. The second case is if alpha is equals to 2 by 3. Now if alpha is equals to 2 by 3, p is equals to what? It is equals to 2 over alpha. So 2 over 2 by 3. So from here p comes out to be 3, everyone. Now this is the case you're going to take. The value of p is what? It is 3. Simple. Okay, so what did we use here? We used the concepts of polynomials, specifically these two things, product and sum, and then we figured out the value of alpha in terms of p. You could have figured out the value of p in terms of alpha. We figured out the value of p in terms of alpha. We got a quadratic equation in terms of alpha. We solved it to get the value of alpha. Then we plugged it in the value of p and got the value of p. Okay, you could have also got a quadratic equation in terms of p. Okay. So both the things would lead to the same answers, don't worry. Okay, chalo. So with that, let's move on, guys. Now, we are done with all the different types of problems from nature of roots. Now comes the most important and tricky part of this entire chapter, that is word problems. Okay? So we are going to learn now how to set up word problems, because solving them is easy, setting them up is the big task. है ना? ठीक है? चलो, no worries guys, we'll start from the very recent question of 2025 board exams and let's see. Okay, the difference of the squares of two positive numbers. Okay, so both the numbers are positive. Their difference is given as 180. The square of the smaller number is 8 times the greater number. Find the two numbers. Everyone, here the problem is that we know that we have to set up a quadratic equation in one variable, right? So only one variable we have to use. But either though there are two unknown quantities, there are two numbers that we need to figure out. So which number to take what in terms of x? How will we know? So bacha, please don't get confused like that. Always make your process easy. And one of the first thing to do when you are confused, what like if I take one number as x, what would be the other number? How will we figure that out in terms of x? If you ever get confused like that, just take both the quantities as x and y respectively and start from there. Okay? So I will take the numbers. Let the numbers be x and y respectively. Okay, where I'm strictly saying that x is greater than y, because I have to specify which one's the larger number, because they are talking about larger and smaller number in the question. Okay, x is greater than y. Now here's the important question. Can you do this question using pair of linear equations in two variables? Is that possible? This is something you have to ask yourself in board exams, because there you don't know whether the question is from quadratic or pair of linear equations, right? How will you distinguish? So bacha dekho, in pair of linear equations in one variable, you know that the equation that will be formed will have the highest power of variable as 1, right? The highest power of the variable should be what? 1. Either you can see that they are already talking about squares of the positive numbers, and you know that both the numbers will be taken as variable only. So you already know that whatever equation you are forming, you will have the power of variable as 2 there, obviously. So this means that this is a question of quadratic equation. Okay? Because already in the relationship it is mentioned square. Baat khatam. Okay? Okay. Ab what I'll do, everyone? I will now try to figure out the relationships. Okay? So first thing it's given, the difference of the squares of two positive numbers is 180. So this is very easy to write. X square minus y square is 180. From the larger number square, you will subtract the smaller number square, you will get 180, right? I'll write it as 1. Okay, so simple. I am doing nothing. I am just converting the statements into mathematical equations. Bus. Okay, second statement, guys. The square of the smaller number. Let's wait. Square of the smaller number. What is square of the smaller number? Y is the smaller number. It's a square. So they are talking about y square. Okay. So square of the smaller number, guys, they are talking about y square. Okay. Is matlab equals to. Is matlab equals to. Okay. 8 times means multiplication. Times means multiplication. So 8 into the greater number. So they are only talking about greater number, not its square. So write the greater number, not its square, just the greater number. The greater number is x. So you get y square is equals to 8x. Write it as 2. Got it? Simple. Okay, I have converted both the statements that were given to me in terms of mathematical equations, and now look at both these equations here and think, how can I convert the first one into a quadratic equation in one variable? Very easy, guys. I'll just put the value of y square here. Yes or no? Right? So see, very easy. Put 2 in 1. If you do that, what you'll get x square minus, in place of y square, you will have 8x and is equals to 180. So I'll just take 180 here. Negative 180 is equals to 0. This is what you get. Okay? Okay, now let's solve this using splitting the middle term. If you want to use quadratic formula, you can do that also. Totally your choice, guys. Okay? Chalo. So I have to figure out two numbers, guys. M and N, such that their addition is negative 8 and their multiplication is negative of 180. So I know one of the numbers has to be positive, one of them has to be negative, right? Okay, so now let's think, guys, what could those numbers be, right? So if I take 18 and 10, 18 and 10, very simple. 18 into 10 is 180 and 18 minus 10 is 8. Okay? I know one number is, one number is positive, one number is negative. So I know that difference has to be negative, 8. Okay? So, ab 18 and 10. Now you have negative sign here. That means you will take negative 18 and positive 10. Then only you will get negative sign here, na? Okay? Chalo. So now I know how to break this. Negative 8x will be written as negative of 18x plus 10x. Okay? Okay. Minus 180 is equals to 0. Let's, simplify. So, x common. So, x minus 18 plus 10 common, x minus 18 is equals to 0. I get the value, I can factorize it as x plus 10 into x minus 18 is equals to 0. Product of two numbers is 0. That means each of the number could be 0, right? So, either x plus 10 is 0. So, x plus 10 is equals to 0 means x is equals to negative 10. Or x minus 18 is 0. That means x is equals to 18. But look here, they were talking about positive numbers. So, can x be negative 10, everyone? It can't be, right? You cannot have x as negative 10. So, that means that the value of x is what? The value of x has to be 18. That's it. Negative 10 is ignored. Okay? Acha, if x is 18, everyone, how can you figure out value of y? So, to figure out value of y, use this relationship. Y square is equals to 8 into 18. So, from here you can calculate the value of y. It will come out to be 12. So, the numbers are 18, 12. That's it. This is the answer, everyone. Okay? You can check also if you want to verify your answer and you have time, then you can do that. Okay? Chaliye. So, with that, let's move on to the next problem. Okay, a two-digit number is such that the product of the digits is 24. If 18 is subtracted from the number, the digits change their places. Find the number. You have a two-digit number. They are talking about digits. So, obviously, the unknown quantities are the digits. So, let's start, everyone, from the very basic. Let the tens and unit digit be x and y respectively. X and y respectively. Okay, everyone? Okay. Got it? Now, what is given? The product of digits is given 24. So, x into y is given as 24. I'll write that down, everyone. Okay? Okay, cool. Next thing. If 18 is subtracted from the number, the digits interchange their places. Okay. Pehle to let's see how to form the number. We have learned this in pair of linear equations also, but still let's see again. If you have a two-digit number, guys, 56. How do you write it? You can write it like this. 10's digit into 10 plus 1's digit. Right or not? Okay. So, similarly, if you have a number in terms of x and y like this, xy. So, if you are writing it as xy, there's a problem. What is the problem? The problem is if you write the number xy, like x into y, sorry, xy. So automatically, it would be assumed that you are writing x into y. But actually में तो ऐसा नहीं है ना. The number here is 56. It's not 5 into 6. You are not multiplying, right? So that means you can't write the number as xy. Instead, you will write it like this. 10 into 10th digit plus 1st digit. Again, I'll repeat. When you are writing a number in terms of variable, you just can't write the variables like this, because this means you are writing the product of the numbers, right? So instead, you will write the number like this, 10 into 10th digit plus 1st digit, because this gives you the number, right? Because this is just us writing the number in expanded form. Okay, so what would this number be? Original number be? Original number, guys. Original number would be 10 into 10th digit plus 1st digit. New number basically here is the number formed by exchanging the digits. So when you are exchanging the digits, guys, y comes at 10th place and x goes to 1st place. So what would this number look like? This number would look like 10 into 10th digit, which is now y, plus 1st digit, which is x. Okay? So new number is equals to 10y plus x. You have written both the numbers. Now let's see the second statement. If 18 is subtracted from the number, what is the original number? 10x plus y. From the original number, they are talking about subtracting 18. Okay? So if you subtract 18, what would happen? The digits will interchange their places. That means you will get a number where the digits are interchanged. That means you will get this number here, 10y plus x. This number you will get. Okay, everyone? Okay. Now, this here, let's just thoda sa simplify it and then we'll move on. So, I'll just bring everything here on the left hand side. So, 10x minus x is 9x. Y minus 10y is minus 9y. Minus 18 is equals to 0. Now, this here is a linear equation. Okay, but we can't solve this using pair of linear equation wala funda, because though this is a linear equation, this is not. X into y is equals to 24 is not a linear equation, right? In linear equations, you can't have, two variables multiplied with each other. So, up what will you do in such scenario? In such scenario, you will just figure out the value of one variable, from one equation and put it in another equation. Okay? So, here it is very easy to figure out the value of, let's suppose y, from here, which is 24 by x, and put it in the second one. Put it here to get. So put 1 in 2. Put 1 in 2. Now let's just see what we are getting, everyone. So 9x. Acha, I could have simplified this further now. 9x minus 9y is equals to 18. Let me just simplify this further so that our equation becomes easier to calculate. I can take x common, so I'll have x minus y minus 2 is equals to 0. Now this is better. I just took 9 common and just got away with it, right? I put it on the right hand side. Okay, chalo. Now put 1 in 2. So what will you get? X minus 24 by x. In place of y, I'm taking 24 by x. Minus 2 is equals to 0. From 1, write this from 1. Okay, now let's see what equation I am getting. So, what I'll do, I'll take the denominator as x here. Okay, in the entire thing. So, when I take the denominator x, here I'll get x square. Here, negative 24 will remain and here we'll have negative 2x. This is equals to 0. Okay, so now everyone, let's see the equation. So, the equation will now look like this. X square minus 2x minus 24 is equals to 0. Because this x here, it could be thrown on the right hand side and it will be gone. Okay? So, x square minus 2x minus 24, this is your quadratic equation. Now, you have to simply solve it. Okay? So, how can you solve it, everyone? So, think about it. How can you, like two numbers whose product is negative 24 and the sum is negative 2. What are those numbers? You know, one number should be negative, another one should be positive, right? So, think about it. If I have negative 6 plus 4, this is negative 2 and negative 6 into 4, negative 24. Ho gaya kaam? Khatam. So, always remember, when you're confused, take the product, which is 24, and break it down. Like, break it down as product of two numbers and see which pair is satisfying both the things. ठीक है, and make sure that you know the signs, ठीक है, because you know that okay m plus n is negative, मतलब bigger number has to be negative and smaller number has to be positive, ठीक है, so that means the difference of two numbers should be this, okay. So all of this is common sense and it comes with practice, guys. Chalo, so here we'll have x square minus 6x plus 4x minus 24 is equals to 0. I'll take x as common, so x minus 6 yeah, plus 4 taken common, x minus 6 is equals to 0. So we'll have x plus 4 into x minus 6 is equals to 0. From here we get the value of x as 6 and negative 4. I hope now you can do these factorization like really fast. Hai na? Now, is it possible for a number to have a negative digit? Is not, right? So the only possibility here is x is equals to 6. That's the only possibility. So if x is 6, what is the value of y, everyone? You can put x as 6 here and get y as 24 divided by 6, which is 4. Okay? So you have to write the number. Please don't forget to write the number, everyone. The number is 64. This is the final answer. Okay? Sorry. This here is the final answer. Number is equals to 64. Okay? What did we learn here, everyone? We learned that you don't have to make things complicated. Just take, if you have two unknown quantities, take the two unknown quantities as x and y and form the equations according to the statement that is given, and then determine whether you can do the problem using pair or linear equation or quadratic, okay? By seeing both the equations. If you get that okay, one equation, even one equation is non-linear, matlab quadratic say this problem will be solved, okay? Then what you will do? You will figure out the value of one variable, from one equation and just put it in the second equation. So you will get a quadratic equation. It's as simple as that. Okay? Never make things complicated. Okay? Chalo. So with that, let's move on to this problem, guys. Okay? And it's a very important problem and a very, I think, it's a problem where a lot of people get confused. Please pay attention. Okay? Chalo. A shopkeeper buys some books for 80 rupees. If he had bought 4 more books for the same amount, each book would have cost 1 rupee less. Find the number of books he bought. Now, good for us, there is only one unknown quantity that we have to find. That is number of books. Ab yahan par, don't think a lot. Just first of all, take the number of books bought as x. Let number of books be originally bought. Why I am writing originally bought, we'll see. Okay? Originally bought be x. So x is the number of books he bought. Okay? Chalo. Now the question is saying that for 80 rupees he bought x number of books. I'll write it here. He bought x number of books for 80 rupees. Okay? This is number of books. Number of books. Okay, now, if he had bought 4 more books for the same price, matlab, if he had bought 80 rupees is fixed. Now they are saying that if he had supposedly bought 4 more books matlab originally though he was buying x books, but if he had bought x plus 4 books, if he had bought x plus 4 books for 80 rupees, the cost of each book would have reduced by 1 rupees. Ab dikkat hai. Where did this cost come from? What do I do with it? No worries. I'll make an equation out of it. So first of all, guys, what I will do is I will think what would be the cost of one book. Cost of one book. Now this is a no-brainer. For 80 rupees, x number of books were bought, right? So that means that the cost of one book would be what? 80 divided by x, unitary method. Right or not? So cost of one book would be 80 rupees divided by x. Okay? Total cost divided by number of books. I'll write it here if you people get confused. Wait. Total cost divide by number of books. Okay? Okay. Now, next everyone. हो गया? अब they are talking about x plus 4 number of books. Okay? If 4 more books were bought for 80 rupees, the cost of each book would be 1 rupee less. Okay, ji, no worries. If number of books becomes x plus 4, if number of books becomes x plus 4, then cost of one book would be what? Then cost of one book would be what, everyone? Same formula, guys, same formula, because now also the cost is fixed. If for 80 rupees, x plus 4 number of books are being bought, right? So this time cost of one book would be 80 divided by x plus 4 rupees. Okay? Okay. Now we have got two costs with us, this and this, and there is a relationship that they are giving between costs. They are saying that in the second scenario here, this is one less than the previous one. See, here they have written if 4 more books were bought, then each book would have cost 1 rupee less. So this is the cost of one book, right? So each book's cost is 80x plus 4. We have figured out, right? And this is what? This is 1 less. So this is equals to 1 less. 1 less by what? 1 less than original cost. Obviously, that's not written, but that is what they mean. So 1 less than original cost, matlab, jo original cost hai, which is 8 by x minus 1. 1 less than means 1 would be subtracted, right, from the original cost. Okay. So let's write that down, everyone. Here, 80 divided by x plus 4 is equals to 80 by x minus 1. Now let's just simplify this. So I will just group it like this. 80 by x minus 80 x plus 4 is equals to 1. Okay? Now again, people, if you are always confused about these types of problems, okay, where you get something like this and you're not able to figure out which one to write first. So remember, guys, remember this very basic thing, that the bigger the denominator, the smaller the number. Bigger denominator means smaller number. Bigger denominator means smaller number, so it would be obviously subtracted. Okay? Smaller denominator means bigger number. So obviously, from this number would be larger. Okay? So if you remember this very basic thing, you will never get confused. Remember, bigger denominator means smaller number. Okay? Now let's simplify this, everyone. I'll do it here. Okay. So here what we'll get? 80x plus 4 minus 80x is equals to x plus 4. x plus 4. Right, everyone? Okay, so 80x will get cancelled. We'll only have 320 here. That's it, na? Okay, is equals to x square plus 4x. So this equation becomes x square plus 4x minus of 320 is equals to 0. That's it. Okay? Now let's think about two numbers whose product is 320. You have to think that the product is negative 320 basically, and the sum is 4. That means both the numbers would have opposite signs because obviously product is negative. Okay? Matlab you have to think about two numbers jinka difference is 4. Abhi ke liye think about two numbers jinka difference is 4 and multiplication is 320. Okay? So for that, you can break down 320. Okay? You can try breaking 320 down. So we can break it down like this, 32 into 10, but that won't give us 4, the difference won't give us 4, right? Or we can break it down as, 16 into 20. Oh, 16 into 20. Now guys, 20 minus 16 is 4. 20 minus 16 is 4, right? The difference is 4. So, matlab, this is the answer. We just need to now think about the signs, right? So, I should get 4, positive 4 as the answer. So, iska matlab that 20 will be taken as positive and 16 would be taken as negative. Tabhi to 20x minus 16x would be 4x, right? So 20x minus 16x minus 320 is equals to 0. Okay, now I'll take x common, so x plus 20. Here minus 16 as common, so x plus 20 is equals to 0. So the value of x is x minus 16. I'll write the entire thing. X plus 20 is equals to 0. So the value of x would either be 16 or negative 20. Now we already know that x cannot be negative. Cost cannot be negative, guys. That's not possible, right? So the value of x is what? The value of x is positive. So you will write that down. Let's write this down. X is equals to x is the number of books, na? Why I'm writing cost. X is equals to 16. So number of books, everyone, is equals to what? 16. That's it. Simple. Easy. Not easy? No worries, guys. If you did not understand this problem, you can watch this entire thing once again. Right? That's the beauty of recorded sessions. है ना? ठीक है. Chalo. So with that, let's move on. A train travels a distance of 480 kilometers at a uniform speed. If the speed had been 8 kilometers per hour less, then it would have taken 3 hours more to cover the same distance. Find the speed of the train. Okay. Chalo, sabse pehle the most important thing and the least thing and the thing where you don't have to think a lot basically is assigning the variable to the unknown quantity, right? So let the speed be x kilometer per hour, right? Let the speed be x kilometer per hour. ठीक है जी. Okay. हाँ. अब they have given the distance. Speed we know. Original distance is this. Original speed is this. This is the original speed. ठीक है. Now they are saying that if the speed had been 8 km per hour less, then it would have taken 3 hours more to cover the same distance. Okay, they are talking about time here, right? So let's figure out the time first of all. Let's figure out the original time. Let's figure out the original time. Okay? Original time. Original time means, the time it would have originally taken the train to complete the journey of 480 kilometers. Okay? So original time would be distance over speed, right? This is the formula I'm using. So distance is fixed. It's 480 kilometer and we already took the speed as x. So this hours. Please write hours also, guys. Write the units. Okay? But if, now they are saying that if the speed was what? 8 km per hour less than what? Less than original speed. These are things that you should think. Less than what? Less than original speed. Less than original speed. These are common sense things that you should think yourselves, right? Original speed. So 8 km less than original speed. That means if the original speed is x km per hour, then the new speed is x minus 8 km per hour. Right? So if the speed is this, then the time is what? The time taken to cover the same distance, the time taken to cover same 480 kilometer would be what? Distance divided by speed. Now speed is what? X minus 8. Right? So now we have got two times with us. The original time it would have taken to complete the 480 kilometer journey, and the new time and the time that would have been that the train would have taken to complete the journey if the speed was 8 km per hour less. Okay? Now notice what they are saying. The question is saying if the speed had been 8 km per hour less, then it would have taken 3 hours more to cover the same distance. So matlab the original time was 480 by x. Okay? The new time is 480 x minus 8. Okay? What is the difference between both the times? The difference between both the times is 3 hours. Ab chahe wo 3 hours more le, less le, doesn't matter. You just have to think like this. That the original time and the new time. What is the difference between the both the times? 3 hours. 3 hours. Simple. And again, I'll repeat, if you do not understand which one to put first, 480 by x to put first or 480 by x minus 8 to put first, like which one should I put first and subtract? So remember, smaller denominator means larger number. Okay, so either x minus 8 is the smaller denominator among both of these. So that's why this is the larger number. That's why from this we are subtracting this. This is all common sense. ठीक है? चलो, now we have an equation. We just need to convert it into a quadratic equation. ठीक है? चलिए, so let's do that, everyone. Okay, so we'll have 480x minus 480 x minus 8 is equals to 3x x minus 8, right? Okay, so I've simply simplified it, everyone. 480x minus 480x go gone. The only thing remaining would be negative 480 into minus 8. So that would be what? 64, 6, 32, 3840, right? So 3840 is equals to 3x square minus 24. We can take 3 common and what we'll get? We'll get 3, 3, 6, 8, 24. 1280 is equals to x square minus 8. So let's rewrite this, everyone. We'll get x square minus, here we have x also, I'm so sorry. X square minus 8x minus 1280 is equals to 0. This is our quadratic equation. Now you have to think about two numbers whose product is negative of 1280 and whose sum is negative 8. Matlab one number is positive, another one's negative. Okay, so we just have to think about two numbers which on subtraction gives us 8 and multiplication gives us 1280. That's the way of thinking. Okay, this is what I'm writing here. It's the way of how to think. Okay, how you will think. Okay, chalo. So now think about it, everyone. So look here, 1280. First, I'll work with this. 1280. So 1280 is what? 16, 32, 64, 128. Yes. So 2 raised to power 7 into 10. I can write it as 2 raised to power 7 into 10, or I can write it as 2 raised to power 8 into 5. This is how I can write it. Okay? So I have simply factorized it because I want to break it down into two smaller numbers which on difference is giving me 8. ठीक है, तो the number have to be close together, है ना, the numbers have to be close. ठीक है, चलो. So what if I take let's just suppose I am taking 32 and 40. What I did was, I thought कि ठीक है, I'll break 2 raised to power 8 as 2 raised to power 5 into 2 cube into 5. I just broke it down like this to get two numbers that are really close together, right? These two numbers are close together. This is what? This is 32, while this is 40. These numbers are close together and, lucky me, I got two numbers whose subtraction is 8. So this is the way to think. Okay, I'm just asking you to think, and your thinking process could be different than mine. My thinking process is always this, that you will take the number and you will factorize it, and according to the difference or the sum, you will try to find numbers which are either close together or far apart. Okay, chalo. So 32 and 40 it is, everyone. Let's see. X square minus 40x plus 32x minus 1280 is equals to 0. Right? Okay. Chal. Now, I'll take x common here. So, x minus 40. Here, I'll take 32 common. So, I'll get x minus 40 is equals to 0. Okay? So, now x plus 32 into x minus 40 is equals to 0. So from here, the value of x is either negative 32 or the value of x is 40. Clearly, negative 32 is not possible. Why? Because speed is not negative. Okay? We are not talking about velocity, we are talking about speed. Okay? So in speed, we don't mention, the signs, right? If I am right about the physics. Okay? So x is equals to 40 kilometers per hour. That's the answer. What's the speed, everyone? The speed is x is equals to 40 kilometer per hour. That's the original speed. And it's a quite common question. Okay, these types of questions could be asked in terms of train or even flights. We'll see a question of flight also. Okay, so yes, make sure that you practice these types of problems as much as you can. And we'll talk about one more problem like this. Okay, this is a question on flight. Okay. It was asked in 2020. In fact, it has been asked many times in board exams. Okay? Chalo. In a flight of 600 km, an aircraft was slowed due to bad weather. Its average speed for the trip was reduced by 200 km per hour and time of flight increased by 30 minutes. Find the original duration of flight. Here they are not asking you to find the speed of the flight. They are asking you to find the original duration of the flight. No worries. This is the part where a lot of people get confused. You have to find the original duration of flight, not the speed. Okay? So a lot of people think that, okay, let me take the original duration of flight as x. And you can do that. There's no problem with that. Okay? But we already know the concept of time easily, and we know that here the relationship is given between times. The relationship is given between time. So let me take speed as x only. Na? And after I get the speed, I can obviously get the original time of the entire flight. I can, right? Okay? So why am I taking, speed as x, guys? Because that is something we have done, in train wala problem, and in a lot of problem you would have done just that. Okay? So take the speed as x and start from there. Do something that you already know. Okay? So let original speed be x kilometer per hour. Okay, everyone? Okay, okay. So now let's figure out the original time, because we know that in this problem, like the previous problem, the relationship will be formed using time, right? Using time. So original time would be what, everyone? Original time of the flight would be distance, which is 600 kilometer, divided by the speed, which is x kilometer per hour. Okay? So 600 by x hours is the original duration of the flight. Okay? Now, if the speed was reduced by 200 kilometer per hour, so if the new speed becomes x minus 200 kilometer per hour, then what happens with the time? Then what happens with the time, everyone? The time will become, distance is same, speed is x minus 200 now, kilometer per hour. Okay? So you have figured out two times, the original time and the new time. Okay? And they are saying that if the speed was reduced by 200 kilometers per hour, then the time of the flight would have gone up by 30 minutes. So, matlab, the difference between both the time is 30 minutes. The difference between both the times is 30 minutes. This is how you should interpret it. Okay? More or less, say you get confused. So, interpret it like this. The difference between time is 30 minutes. Okay? Which one's the larger, which one would be greater, everyone? Smaller denominator means larger number, right? So, I'll write 600 x minus 200 first. This is larger, minus 600 by x, and this is equals to 30 minutes. Now, there's the first problem or the first mistake that a lot of people might do. What is the mistake here, everyone? Notice, why did I write kilometer per hour? Sorry. Notice, everyone, that both the times are in hour, but this 30 is in minutes. It is in minutes. Can you see 30 minutes? Right? So you cannot write 30 minutes here. You'll have to convert it into hours. So please do that. Please convert 30 minutes into hour. How do you do that? By dividing it by 60. 30 divided by 60 hours. Okay, so make sure you take note of those units, guys. You don't want to lose marks like that. Matlab, you do everything correctly and then you do silly mistake like that. How sad would be that? Hai na? Okay? Okay, now everything is correct. We can start solving the problem now. Okay? Chalo. Okay, everyone. Now let's solve this. So we have 600x minus 600x plus 200. Yeah, so 600x minus 600x plus plus 1, 2 followed by 4 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, is equals to x square minus 200x divided by 2. This is what you'll get. Okay? Chalo, 600x minus 600x is gone. So finally, you will get an equation like this. X square minus 200x minus of 2, 4 followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 zeros is equals to 0. This is what you'll get. Right? This is your equation. Now, how can you break it? You have to figure out two numbers whose product is 2,40,000 and the sum is negative 200. Okay, ji. So, I think the numbers are very easy to figure out. It would be negative of 600x, positive of 400x. This would give you negative of 200x and multiplication would give you 2,40,000. Very obvious, right? So, plus 2, 4 followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 zeros is equals to 0. Now, this will be x common. So, x minus 600 here plus 400 common, x minus 600 here is equals to 0. So, now you will have what? X plus 400 here, x minus 600 here is equals to 0. So, the value of x would either be negative 400 or the value of x would be 600. Negative 400 guys, not possible, right? You're talking about speed here, so not possible. So, x is equals to 600. Okay? So, that means original speed is equals to 600 km per hour. But guys, all the people that would leave this question here, that would be like, oh, I got the correct answer, let's go. You would lose marks because you don't have to find the original speed. You have to find the original time duration of the flight. See, find the original duration of flight, right? So, the original duration of flight, duration of flight would be what? It would be the distance, which is 600, divided by original speed, which is 600. That is equals to 1 hour. Please make sure that you apply the formula and find time. Okay? Distance divided by speed. So, 1 hour is the answer for this question. Got it? Understood? Chalo. With that, let's move on to the next problem. This is again a very common type of problems, guys, asked in board exams. And for this, you should know certain things. So first, let's learn those certain things. ठीक है? तो सबसे पहले तो let's talk about a boat when it is in a river. तो बच्चा, there are two ways that the boat can go. It can go against the flow of the water or it can go towards the flow of water, right? So if it is going towards the flow, wait a minute. Yeah. So if it is going towards the flow, so that is called, everyone, downstream. Okay, going downstream. So whenever we are talking about a boat going downstream, matlab it is going towards the flow of the water. So in this case, what would happen? There would be a speed with which the boat is running. Obviously, the boat would be running, right? It would have its speed. And there would be a speed of stream also, right? The waves, the stream, that is also running, right? Now, when the boat is going in direction of stream only, then what happens is both the speeds gets adds up and the boat moves faster, right? Why does boat move faster? Because both the speeds are getting added up, right? So, in downstream, what happens? Speed of boat in still water. Okay, this is what we call the speed of boat, originally, that is speed of boat in still water, will get added with the speed of stream, and it will give you the total speed. This would give you the total speed. The total speed of the boat would be this. Okay, this happens for downstream, everyone. Now, what happens for upstream? Or when you are going against the flow, right? So, when the boat is going against the flow of water. So, we say that boat is going upstream. It's going upstream. Think about it like this. When you go up, when you're ascending, what happens? Your speed slows down. You're going against the gravity. Similarly, when the boat goes upstream, it's going against the flow of the water and its speed slows down. Why does its speed slow down? Because there would be a speed of boat in still water, right? There is a speed of boat in still water. Motor would be running, right? And that motor would be running for the boat, right? And it would have its speed. But there would be the stream speed which would be going against it, right? So what would happen? The speed would get reduced. Why? Because from the speed of boat in still water, the speed of stream would be what? It would be subtracted. है ना? ठीक है? So speed of boat in still water minus speed of stream would be the total speed. Would be the total speed. Total speed. Understood? Now, why did I not, write this like this? Ki speed of stream minus speed of boat in still water. Because guys, if speed of stream was greater than speed of boat in still water, then boat would not have gone upstream. It would have stopped working. It would go downstream then. Yes or no? So that's why speed of stream has to be less than speed of boat in still water. It cannot be more in upstream wala case, right? It cannot be more. Okay, so this is the small funda with which this question can be done. Okay, chalo. Now let's come to the problem, everyone. We have a motorboat whose speed is 18 km per hour in still water. So we are given the speed of boat in still water. You can see that 18 km per hour. Now, this motorboat takes 1 hour more to go 24 km upstream than to return downstream to the same spot. Find the speed of stream. So what is the missing term? The missing term is speed of stream. So let's write that down. Let speed of stream be x kilometer per hour. Okay, everyone? Okay, chalo, khatam baat. Ab everyone, the relationship is given between time. Again, time, guys, can you see? Ki, matlab the boat would take 1 hour more to go upstream than to come downstream. And distance is given. Distance is given. Remember, when distance is given and the relationship of time is given between there are two situations and the two situations are connected by time. Okay, their time difference is given. So in case, what do? You figure out the original, you figured out the original speed and everything. So either you will figure out the upstream speed and the downstream speed, because their difference is given 1 hour. Hai na? Chalo. So first of all, let's start by figuring out upstream speed. Upstream speed. Upstream speed is what? The difference between speed is not given. The difference between the time duration is given. So first you will figure out the upstream speed and then you will figure out the time taken to go upstream. Then you will figure out the downstream speed and then you will figure out the, you will figure out the downstream speed and then you will figure out the time taken to go downstream. Okay? Now, upstream speed, you already know it would be the speed of boat in still water. From there you can see speed of boat in still water minus speed of stream, right? Okay, so what would be the time taken upstream? Time taken to go 24 km upstream. It would be what, everyone? It would be distance divided by speed. That's it. Okay, distance divided by speed. This is the formula we are using, nothing else. Okay, similarly, you will figure out downstream speed, everyone. Downstream speed. So what is downstream speed? It's simply both the speeds added up. Matlab speed of boat in still water plus speed of stream, right? So x plus 18 km per hour. Right? Now, time taken to go 24 km downstream. It would be what, everyone? It would be 24 divided by 18 plus x. Distance divided by speed, r. ठीक है, हो गया? Now we have figured out the time taken to go upstream, time taken to do downstreams, and we already know that the difference is 1 hour because it's written that the boat takes 1 hour more to go upstream than to go downstream, right? So I know that the difference between the times is 1 hour. So which one's the larger time here, guys? Again, use your brain. The smaller the denominator, bigger the number. So smaller denominator is this, so this one's bigger. And in fact, think about it. By upstream jaane mein, it would take lots of time. It would take more time as compared to downstream, right? So yes, upstream time is greater. So 24, 18 minus x. From upstream time, if you subtract the downstream time, you must get 1. Simple. Now you can solve it. Okay? Chalo, let's do it, everyone. Sorry. Yes. So what do you have? 24 into 18 plus 24x minus 24 into 18 plus 24x is equals to 18 square. See, 18 minus x into 18 plus x, guys. That would be what? A minus b into a plus b. So a square minus b square. Okay, so I can write it directly here in denominator, or I can take it on the right hand side. Okay, so 18 minus x into 18 plus x is 18 square minus x square multiplied by 1. That's a no-brainer. 18 square minus x square. Okay, chalo ji. So 24 into 18 and negative 24 into 18 gets cancelled up. So what do you have? The equation will look like this: x square. Let's bring it here now. X square plus 48x minus 18 square, right? So 18 square is minus 324 is equals to 0, right? Okay. Chalo. Now, how can you break this? Like, how can you solve this equation, guys? Let me take another slide. X square plus 48x minus 324 is equals to 0, right? Two numbers whose product is negative of 3 to 4. That means one number has to be positive, another one's to be negative. And the sum should be 48, right? So again, think about it. How can you write 324 as product of two numbers, guys? And the difference should be 48, right? Because one number has to be positive, another one's negative. Okay? So think about it. If I think 54 into 6. 54 into 6 is 24 and 54 minus 6, everyone, that is equals to 48. So what are the numbers? 54 and negative 6, right? So let's distribute this, split the middle term. So plus 54x minus 6x minus 324 is equals to 0, right everyone? So here we'll have x as common. So x plus 54 inside the bracket, then negative 6 common, and again x plus 54 inside the bracket is equals to 0. So we have x minus 6 in one bracket, x plus 54 in another bracket equals to 0. So here x minus 6 is equals to 0 gives us x is equals to 6, while x plus 54 is equals to 0 gives us x is equals to negative 54. So which is the correct answer, guys? Obviously x is equals to 6 because the speed of stream cannot be negative. It has to be positive, right? So 6 km/h is the answer. Okay? So please remember, in this type of questions you should know this, and this is not very hard to get, है ना? So please understand this. ठीक है? बाकी the equation was formed in this similar, like the equations that we formed were similar to the previous equations that we formed for train or for flight wala thing, where relationship is given between the time periods. ठीक है? चलिए. So with that, let's move on and discuss this problem, guys. Okay, again, type of question that has been repeated a lot, so please pay attention. Two taps running together can fill a tank in 3 1/13 hours. If one tap takes 3 hours more than the other to fill the tank, then how much time will each tap take to fill the tank? So basically we have two taps and the time period is asked for each of them to individually fill the tank. Okay? So let's say that let time taken by one tap alone to fill the tank. To fill the tank be x hours. Why did I take hours? Because here this is in hours. That's why. Okay? Okay. Ab, think about, here they have already given that if one tap takes 3 hours more than the other. So they have given a relationship between the time period for both the taps. Okay? So if one tap takes x hours, so the second tap, time taken by second tap, time taken by second tap is equals to what, everyone? Let's say x plus 8 hours. Okay? So I am assuming that this first tap was taking less time and the second was taking more time. So how much more? X plus 8, because this was given. X plus 3. Sorry, my fault guys. X plus 3. X plus 3. Okay? 3 hours more it's given. Okay? Chalo. So this is done. Now the time is there. Sorry. Now it's time to form the equation. Okay? How will you do that, everyone? So देखो, here let's apply some common sense. X hours in x hours, one tank is being filled. In x hours, one tank is being filled, or whatever this is. Okay, okay, tank. Now, in 1 hour, the same tap will fill 1 by x part of the tank. Yes or no, guys? Okay, unitary method, simple. Okay, so if in x hours, one entire tank is being filled, then in 1 hour, 1 by x part of the tank will be filled. Okay. Now, for second tap, in x plus 3 hours, one entire tank is being filled. So that means in 1 hour, 1 over x plus 3 part of the tank will be filled. Cool, everyone? Got it? So let's write this here, everyone. In 1 hour, what part of the tank is being filled total by when both the taps are running? When both the taps are running, then in 1 hour, 1 by x part is being filled by first tap and 1 over x plus 3 part is being filled by the second tap. So in total, in 1 hour, 1 by x plus 1 by x plus 3 part of the tank is being filled. Did you understand this, everyone? What did we do here? Okay, in 1 hour, if both the taps are running, then first tap is filling 1 by x part, second tap is filling 1 over x plus 3 part. So total 1 by x plus 1 over x plus 3 part is being filled for the tank. Okay, chalo. Now, both the taps are running for how many hours? They are both running for 1 by 13 hours to fill the entire tank. Sorry, people, tank, very, okay, my tongue is like, sorry, yeah. So, both the taps are running for 1 by 13 hours and are able to fill the tank totally. So, matlab, if I multiply, what is happening, sorry. If I multiply 1 by 13 with this entire thing, then total tank is being filled. Total tank means pura one part, the whole part. Okay? So see, everyone, if I multiply 1 by 13 with 1 by x plus 1 over x plus 3, then the entire tank, the whole one part of the tank is filled. Okay? So this was for 1 hour. In 1 hour, this part was filled. So in 1 by 13 part, how much tank is filled? 1 by 13 into 1 by x plus 1 by x plus 3. If you didn't understand, I'll write it here. You will understand it like this. See, in 1 hour, this part was filled. Okay? In 3 over 13 hours, how much part of the tank will be filled? You will simply multiply 1 by 13 with 1 by x plus 1 over x plus 3. Part of the tank is being filled. I am using unitary method, that's it. If in 1 hour this part of the tank is filled, then in 1 by 13 hours, 1 by 13 multiplied with this part of the tank will be filled. But we know that in 1 by 13 part, the entire tank is being filled. So, ye jo part hai, this part here is what it is equals to one whole, right? So, you will write that 1 by 13, 1 over x plus 1 over x plus 3. This is equals to one whole. ठीक है? This is equals to one whole tank. This is the way you think. If you think it like this, you will understand how to do such type of problems. Okay? Now with that, we are done. Now we just have to simplify this and form a quadratic equation. That's it, guys. So let's quickly do that. So here what we'll get 2x plus 3 over x square plus 3x. This is inside the bracket, guys. I'll take 1 by 13 on the other side. So basically 1 by 13 is equals to what? It would be equals to 40 by 13, right? So this will be equals to 13 by 40. Did you understand? I just converted 1 by 13. If you don't know, this is equals to 40 by 13. Na? Mixed fraction ko I converted into improper fraction. Okay? Chalo. Now let's simplify this, everyone. So what we'll have, we'll multiply 40 here. So we'll have 80x plus 120 is equals to x square plus 3x into 13, right? So 13x square plus 39x, right? Okay, so now let's just write it. So 13x square, I'll take everything on the right hand side, right? So 13x square, 39x minus 80x would be equals to minus of 41x minus 120 is equals to 0. This is the equation that you get, 13x square minus 41x minus 120. So I'll write it here. So I'll write it here. 13x square minus 41x minus 120 is equals to 0. This is the equation, right, everyone? 13x square minus 41x minus 120 is equals to 0. Okay. Chalo. So now we have to solve this. So we'll have to ask ourselves which two numbers on getting multiplied gives you 120 into 13. So we'll have to do 120 into 13, everyone. So let's just do this. What we'll get? 1560. 1560 in negative. So negative of 1560 should be product and the sum should be equals to negative of 41. Okay. Okay, so think about it. Let's think 1560. Let's write it as a product of all the numbers that you could think of. And clearly, since this is the, see, product is negative and so is the sum of numbers negative. That means one number is positive and there's one negative, right? So that means the difference of two numbers has to be 41. So find two numbers whose difference is 41. Okay? So if I have 24 and 65. 65 and 24. 5 minus 4, 1, 41. We can multiply and check also. 60. Okay, so 1560 can be written as 24 into 65, everyone. 24 into 65, right? And clearly, you can see that 65 minus 24 is equals to, or negative 64 plus 24 is equals to negative 41. Okay, so we got the two numbers, right? Now remember guys, if you ever get confused in splitting the middle term and you want to save time, please use quadratic formula wala thing. Okay, the calculation might be large there, but at least you won't have to use your brain a lot. Okay, so if you get stuck in these kinds of problems, use quadratic formula if you want. So anyways, let's do this, everyone. 13x square minus 65x plus 24x minus 120 is equals to 0. Right? So I'll take 13x common. So here I'll have x minus 5 plus here I'll take 24 common. So here I'll have minus 5 common. Okay. So now I have 13x plus 24 in one bracket and x minus 5 in another bracket is equals to 0. So from here the value of x would come out to be negative 24 by 13 and 5. So clearly only x is equals to 5 is feasible, right? X is equals to negative 24 by 13 is not feasible because we are talking about time taken by a tap to fill the tank, right? So what is the time? What are the times? Time taken by both taps. So one tap takes 5 hours, another one takes 3 more hours, so 8 hours, right? 5 hours and 8 hours. For one tap you figured out, second tap took 3 more hours. That's it. Okay? So what was the main thing here? The main thing was to understand these 3 sentences. So guys, again, if you are still confused, make sure that you rewatch this part of this video, or rewatch the question basically, but make sure that you understand how we got the equations. Okay? Chalo ji. So with that, let's move on. Okay, last question of the session, everyone, and it's a case study question that came in 2024. So yes, guys, from quadratic equation, you can expect a case-based study question, and they are very easy also. Okay, chalo. So let's do this one. A rectangular floor area can be completely tiled with 200 square tiles. Okay. If the side length of each tile is increased by 1 unit, it would take only 128 tiles to cover the entire floor. ठीक है, चलो let's see the questions now. ठीक है, the first question is assuming the original length of each side to be x unit. So they are saying that assume that each side of a tile is x unit and form a quadratic equation. Now they have, for us, they have done something very interesting. They have given us a hint on how to find quadratic equation for this one. They have said, take original length of each side of the tile be x. ठीक है, so think about it guys. Let's see the first wala statement. 200 square tiles are covering the entire rectangular floor. मतलब the area of the entire rectangular floor would be area of 200 square tiles. Yes or no? Yes, right? So I'll write it here so that you people understand. This is the key, okay? Area of rectangular floor. Area of rectangular floor is equals to area of 200 tiles of length x, what? They have just given x units. Okay, x units. Okay, everyone? Cool. What would be the area of 200 square tiles of length x? So I know the area of one square tile would be x square. Side square guys. Okay? So area of 200 square tiles would be 200 x square units. Simple. But it is still not a quadratic equation, right? No worries. Let's see the second statement here. If the side length of each tile is increased by 1 unit. So now they are doing what? They are using different tiles where the tiles are still square, but their length has increased by 1 meter. So previously the length was x. So now new length is x plus 1, right? I'll write it here. New length of tile is equals to what, everyone? X plus 1, right? So now you have new tiles whose length is x plus 1. So if you have such tiles, then the entire floor can be covered by 128 tiles. Now in this case, you can say that the area of the same rectangular floors would be equals to the area of 128 new tiles, right? And what would be the area of 128 new tiles? It would be equals to 128 multiplied with x plus 1 whole square. Yes, true everyone? ठीक है? चलो. Now, this is again area of rectangular floor. Area of floor, right? Because the same floor is being covered by the tiles, right? So area of rectangular floor is equals to 200x square. The area of floor is also equals to 128 multiplied with x plus 1 whole square. So मतलब क्या है? मतलब कि 200x square is equals to 128x plus 1 whole square. Yes or no? The area of 200 original tiles is equals to the area of 128 new tiles, because they are both covering the same area of the floor. Okay? Now, this is the equation, but you will not leave it like that, guys. Please make sure to further expand it. Okay? Chalo, so let's just expand it. I'll do it. Okay? So first of all, let's be smart and let's just cancel 200 and 128. Okay? So 200 and 128, we can cancel both of these by 8. So if I cancel this by 8, what will I get? 25 here and 16 here. Okay. So what I'll have 25x square is equals to 16, and here I'll open the bracket by using identity. So x square plus 2x plus 1. Okay? I can multiply inside. So 25x square is equals to 16x square plus 32x plus 16. So now you can bring this here, what you'll get, or you can take 25x square on the right hand side. So you'll get what? Or bring everything on the left hand side. Sorry people, bring everything on the left hand side. Let's keep the coefficient of x square not negative. Okay? Chalo. So 25x square minus 16x square would be 9x square minus 32x minus 16 is equals to 0. So this is the quadratic equation, everyone. Okay? You could have left it like this also, 25x square is equals to, matlab, marks won't be deducted because they simply wanted you to establish this fact. Okay, they wanted you to establish this for fact. And secondly, in the second part of the question itself, they are asking you to write the equation in standard form. Okay, so don't have to worry if you have to write the equation in standard form or not, because you have to. For the second part, you'll have to do that. है ना? ठीक है, चलो. So now, is 9x square minus 32x minus 16 is equals to 0 in standard form, guys? So we have already written it in standard form. Baat khatam. So we have basically given the answer for the first two questions here only. Okay, 9x square minus 32x minus 16 is equals to 0. This is the standard form. Okay, so we have established the equation and we have written it in standard form. Now the next part of the question is asking you to first find the value of x either by factorization or you can find it by quadratic formula. Okay, so yes, whatever you are comfortable with, you can do. We will do it by factorization and by quadratic formula. It would be your, that would be you. You people would practice it by quadratic formula. Okay, chalo. So let's do it by factorization, everyone. I'll just take another slide. 9x square minus 32x minus 16. Yes. So 9x square minus 32x minus 16 is equals to 0, right? So basically, you should have two numbers whose product is a into c. That means 9 into negative 16. That means negative 144. And m plus n should be equals to what? It should be equals to negative of 32. Okay, everyone, okay, chalo. So I think you can easily figure out m and n. They will be 36 into 4 minus 36 into 4. Minus 36 and 4. Sorry, minus 36 and 4. Because minus 36 into 4 is negative of 144 and minus 36 plus 4 is equals to negative of 32. Okay, ji? Chaliye. So now let me break it down. 9x square minus 36x plus 4x minus 16 is equals to 0, right? So here I'll take 9 common, 9x common in fact. So 9x, so here I'll have x minus 4 and here I'll take 4 common. So again I'll have x minus 4 is equals to 0. So what do I get? I get 9x plus 4 in one bracket and x minus 4 in another bracket is equals to 0. So x is either equals to negative 4 by 9 or it is equals to 4. I know that the side length of a square cannot be negative. So the final answer that you will give is x is equals to 4. That's the side length. But they are asking you to find the value of x. Okay, the length of the side of a tile. So they are specifically asking you to write the length of the side of the tile. Okay, so after you have written down the roots, make sure that you say that x is equals to 4 units is the only length of the side that is possible. Okay, make sure that you write that. Okay, and if you have to do it by quadratic formula, what you will do, you will just write minus b by 2a everyone, minus b plus minus under root of b square minus 4ac over 2a. That's it. Okay, just plug in all the values, everyone. Minus b means 32 plus minus under root of b square. B square means 32 square minus 4ac. So minus 4ac. This is what you had to do, divided by 2a. So 2a. So 2 into a is 2 into 9. Okay, so you have to evaluate this. Please, guys, gladly I'll give it a homework. Gladly. Okay, do it yourself. You'll get the same answer though. You'll get the same roots. Very obvious, right? But yes, do it yourself. I hope you can do that. Okay. So yes, that's it for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this session. Make sure that you practice questions yourselves also, because if you don't practice questions yourself, believe me, guys, you'll make silly mistakes. Okay? So yes, make sure to take care of yourself. Make sure to prepare well because your exams are almost here. And make sure that you attend the next one-shot session. Till then, bye-bye, ta-da, take care.